I'm going to start reading the question. Karen has 2 dogs. The larger dog weighs 1.4 pounds more than the smaller dog. The combined weight of the 2 dogs is 12.6 pounds. What is the weight in pounds of the smaller dog? So the first step I like to do when looking and analyzing problems is I like to go ahead and annotate and underline keywords and phrases. So starting with the question so we know what we're supposed to be looking for. What is the weight in pounds of the smaller dog? So we're trying to figure out how much does this small dog weigh. So let's go back and reread and annotate. So Karen has 2 dogs. The larger dog weighs 1.4 pounds more than the smaller dog. So just by this, we don't know how much the smaller dog weighs. We don't know how much the larger dog actually weighs. So we know that we're going to have to set up equations to figure this problem out. So the larger dog is going to be represented by L. So we know we're going to be solving this using equations, right? Because we don't know what the weight of the larger dog is. Weighs 1.4 pounds more would be plus, than is a flip word, which means what goes in the back comes in the front when we make the equation, than the smaller dog. Do you know how much a smaller dog weighs? No. So what I like to do from here, when I start annotating things that I do not know, and I know that I'm going to have to start setting up equations, the first thing I like to do is write the let statements. So a let statement tells me we're going to let L equal the larger dog. So instead of writing larger dog throughout the entire equation, we're just going to write L. So L is our larger dog. And the smaller dog, we don't know its size, so it's an unknown. So S is going to equal our smaller dog. The let statements are very important. I went ahead and put L for larger, S for smaller, but sometimes we'll end up being X or Y to represent different objects. So let's go ahead and start by creating the equation based on what it says in words. So this is verbal to algebraic. So the larger dog, L, weighs equals, because the larger dog is, 1.4 pounds more than, which means what comes, it's a flip word, so what comes in the back goes in the front, so larger than, more than the smaller dog. So the smaller dog, more 1.4 pounds. So it's 1.4 pounds more than the smaller dog. Now let's look at our second equation that we're going to have to write. The combined weight of the 2 dogs is 12.6 pounds. So combined means it's both the larger and the smaller dog. So it's the larger and the smaller dog. The combined weight together is 12.6 pounds. So how would we write that? L, the larger dog, plus S, the smaller dog, is 12.6 pounds. So, in order to solve this, I need to take one of the variables and solve for it first. So, I'm going to use the substitution method. So substitution means that we know that L is S, the smaller dog, S plus 1.4. So this is now L. So this goes in place for L. So now our new equation is S plus 1.4, and I'll keep plus S, because this is now that, because remember our L was here, equals 12.6. So we took what this is and put it here. So now we're going to combine our like terms, S and S. S plus S would be 2S plus 1.4 equals 12.6. Now we need to get S by itself. So we need to subtract 1.4, subtract 1.4. When you subtract decimals, always line the decimals up. That cancels out, leaving 2S on this side equals 6 minus 4 is 2. Our decimals come straight down. 2 minus 1 is 1, and bring down our 1. S is still not alone, so what we're going to do is divide by 2, divide by 2. And so we're going to go ahead and do some long division off to the side. Whatever's on top goes inside, 11.2. This 2 goes on the outside. I like to go ahead and just bring my decimal up. So 2 can go into 11 how many times? 5 times, because 5 times 2 is 10. So 11 minus 10 is 1. Bring down your 2. 2 can go into 12 how many times? 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. And the smaller dog is 5.6 pounds. And then you'd probably want to write this in a nice complete sentence. And so that way we're getting back to the context of the problem. So we know that the smaller dog, and they're asking for the smaller dog, the smaller dog is 5.6 pounds.